Hello, happy live core chest blasting day. Got Ashley's oil. I'm gonna start getting that put on here. I use my handheld tools when I'm working the chest, my face blaster, my Mini 2. Just start working across. I always try to get a little oil right here in this like bra bulge. Just kind of up and down, side to side in there. I do like a carve around my shoulder, over the trap. I'm gonna lean in here so y'all can see. I'm getting along the collarbone, and it's hard to see with this face blaster because of the color of my tattoo, but I turn the tool sideways and I work along the edges of the collarbone. That way, up and down. I usually hold and lift, and I kind of lean in, and I'm doing a little scooping in the top of the muscle, all the way up around the shoulder. I like to kind of dig this out a little bit. And then I always go in the cleavage. How's everybody doing? Challenge is almost over. We have essentially 1 week left. Sorry, I'm only live-ish with you today. I ended up earning a trip for work and can't say no to a trip to Florida, but I want to make sure y'all get everything you need. So I'm filming this the day before for you because I will be in the car during our live feed time. All right, I'm just using the Mini 2 to follow along the same line. Get right here, carve around the shoulder in this connection. Same, kind of lift, curve, do a little scooping. And then I like to take the more blunted end of the Mini 2 and just kind of color up here, gently under the collarbone, trace around the shoulder and the traps, working up, up, up. Not on breast tissue, but keeping it more up in the pec area. I do go over the actual breast tissue though with the brush boosters. So in the shower or when I'm oily, I'll take it and I'll move up towards the armpit, over, up this way, from underneath, and I'm just kind of stimulating the skin and blood flow using the kind of nubby end of the brush boosters. So that is something that I do. Obviously not on live feed camera, but let me just make sure my phone's cooperating here while I switch sides. It's always terrifying, right? At least this is filmed ahead of time. Not quite as scary. But how is everybody doing with the challenge? I can't believe January is now over. We are into February. It feels like spring and summer will be here in like a literal minute. So I'm just gonna follow the same path on the opposite side, around the shoulder, collarbone, bra bulge area. I've been feeling really good with this challenge. I feel like my food cravings have been very under control. Usually I'm very snacky and I eat a lot of volume, but I feel like I am doing really good. My sleep is getting better. My energy's better. I haven't been drinking coffee except for the occasional, like when we're out and about, nice latte. So that I really enjoy. But otherwise, my eating has been very spot on. Still with my animal-based, very carnivore heavy, because that's just what works best for me. feel like my mindset has been really good. I did take my ego to yoga about a week and a half ago. So if y'all remember, I started this challenge off with a head cold that took me out for, you know, close to a week. That was fun. And then I got a little cocky in my yoga poses. Got my oil stained bra on. This is the one I always use for my live feeds. But I got a little overly confident and cocky in my ability, and my body was giving me some warning signs that I should not push that deep, and I did it anyway. And I tore a muscle back in my hamstring glute area. And that was very unpleasant. Lots of cryo pack, limited on just the depth that I can do, but I'm still trying to keep moving gently, enough stretching and support for it. Very light, gentle blasting, just enough for blood flow. All right, I think we're all oiled up here. So for doing the core area, you can use Master Blaster, Brush and Blast, or small claw tools. This Brush and Blast base has become my absolute favorite. I get a lot more surface area coverage a lot quicker. And as I've told y'all before, if you have loose skin and you feel like you're chasing it around, you can like lay back on a bed. I personally can't maintain my stability on like a workout ball very well. I don't know, I think it has something to do with my height. So I use the bed and I just kind of lean back onto it, and that gives you a little more stretch out, and it'll kind of help keep the skin taut when you're blasting. That's how I started blasting my core years ago. Lean side to side, really stretch out the obliques on the side. Stomach blasting can be something that releases emotions. You may notice some bloating. You may notice better regularity or like cleansing type effects, because you're stimulating all that digestion and everything that's going on. Sorry, I always sound winded when I'm doing a core blast, just because blasting is a workout. There's no set rule for how long you need to be blasting or how quick your blasts need to be. Just do whatever feels right in the moment. Take what you love, leave what you don't is my general rule. All right, I'm gonna kind of lean, and I'm doing a little bit more of like a carving. So you've got the tool tipped around my hip, and then I come up and do the same under my ribs. I do use my cryo packs every single day on my core. It's very good for loose skin and just kind of helping to get all this lifted and tightened up. I did just eat lunch, so I don't usually recommend blasting on a full stomach or after having a ton of water, which kind of feels like you're like on a waterbed or something. Highly unpleasant. Come here, Savage Blaster. So now I'm gonna go back over with the Savage Blaster. diamond technique is the easiest on the core, best shape to make. And then up and down. If you're dealing with loose skin, just lots of oil and just go with the flow. Sometimes you gotta just ride with the wave over there. If I place cups, which I don't do very often on my stomach, but see I got my little rib rolls here that I'm working on. This is like bound up fascia and adhesions from years of bras being too tight and years of like sucking it in. And essentially I overtrained my upper abs and condensed my whole diaphragm area. So it takes some time to get all the way back in there, but it's a lot better than what it was. It's just kind of a little random fat bubble roll that hangs out. Now, something that I like to do on core days, move my bag out of the way there, is tip you down, take you with me. I lay back. I'm gonna use my NYNY to lift the hips. This just kind of gets everything to kind of puddle up, but you can turn so you can find your hip bone easier, and I like to carve around it. A lot of people have very tight hips, psoas hidden down deep in there. Lift, and this is like a scooping motion. I'm on one hip bone, other hip bone. This would be like panty line area. Just doing little scoops. Tip to the other side. And same, carve around the hip. If your skin gets in the way, just grab it, move it. This is also a good time to apply a little extra around under the ribs. So I'm just doing the same, tracing under the rib line. This will feel deeper, so only do it if it's something feels like your body needs. My hips have been tight, especially with the overcompensating for my poor little torn hamstring. So I'm giving that a little extra love. Grab this Master Blaster. I'm gonna just kind of stretch out a little bit more. Think long thoughts. And I'm just gonna do another pass over the whole core. Same, you can kind of tip to the side, carve out a nice hourglass for yourself. And this is when I like to do up and down. It's easier for me to do when I'm laying flat and my skin is a little more stretched out. There's less rolling and rippling going on that I've got to fight against. Now, to finish it up, I always like to smooth out my little hourglass shape on the side. I'm just doing like kind of a, it's more of a scoop up and down, because when you don't have a nice smooth flat surface to work with, Sometimes you gotta just adjust the tool to get it to go with you. Just get between the hip bones, making sure got nice and soft in the hips there. And then to finish, I like to take my mini 2, and you're not nuggeting, like you're not digging in, searching for organs, okay? But I think of it as drawing on my abs. So I take the blunted end and I just do a little color down the side where the obliques hang out. Down the middle where, you know, if I had an ab line, it would be. I'll just give myself a little coloring session for where I would have abs hiding in there. And then, because I'm always working this line under my ribs, I do like a little picking against the grain on this line to help loosen it up. And there's almost always adhesions hiding on the rib cage. If you've worn bras during your lifetime, it's probably in there somewhere. All right, and that is pretty much it for core blasting. You can take either the brush booster or your hands, give yourself a little stimulating massage. Always a good time to finish with the After Blaster cream. I put a thin shirt on before I go put my cryo packs on. I stack them like a corset and I put some on the front and the back. And I do that every single day, usually for about 10 to 15 minutes, because the cold is good for inch loss, skin firming and tightening. But I hope y'all enjoy this. Save it for you to rewatch later. Have a good rest of the challenge. I'll be back home in a couple days and I will see y'all here.